G'day guys, Zim Pilot here. Just wanted to share with you guys this little nifty device that I've come up with. This is based on some ideas that I've seen online, but nothing that I've seen that encompasses everything that I've got in here. So essentially what it is, it's just a method of verifying that you've actually completed your checklist. So it doesn't take the place of your standard checklist that you have in the airplane. So as you can see, I've got it in my Zenith CH200 here. So the idea being, you do your normal checklist, and this essentially is to ensure that you've actually completed that checklist. So in essence, what you do is, if you want to take off, clearly you put it in the takeoff position, all the lights go on, and essentially the plan is, you can see the very first one there is your before before taxi checklist. So you'll do your normal pre-flight, you walk around, you do all of that kind of good stuff, and once again to the airplane, it's about ticking off the final things that you need to do before you actually leave the pickets. So the idea here is, as you can see, I've got TACO, NOTAMs, arrow is for all your documents that you need to carry. Your flight plan, has that been filed? Your search and rescue or SAR time. Do you have sufficient fuel and oil on board? And if the answer is yes to all of those, you then turn it off, the light goes off. The same thing with your run up, you do your mags, temps, your controls, make sure that they are free and correct. You've got the correct ATIS, you've got the QNH, you've made all the necessary radio calls, you do your departure briefing, your threat area management, and your passenger briefing. So again, this doesn't take the place of your standard checklist. This is just to ensure before you leave the run-up area that you've actually done all those checks. You turn off the light again. The same thing happens with your before takeoff checks, so flaps, trim, transponder, make sure that that's set to alt. Make sure you got the correct transponder code in there, and your security hatches and harnesses are all secure, and you've done your lookout, you turn that off. And then again, once you cross the hold short point before you actually take off, you do that. So the idea is, don't take off if there's any red lights on. If there's a red light on, there's something that you haven't done. The little blue light that you're seeing on here, what that is for is after takeoff. So that's your flaps, your lights, your fuel pump, landing gear, that sort of thing. So it's blue because you can actually take off with that light being on. So once you've turned all of those off, you should be good to go. When you're well and truly in the air, you turn that to the off position. When you're coming into land, it's the reverse. That goes down, all the lights go back on. Again, don't land if you've got anything there that's red. So you can see how bright and intense those lights are. They are really, really blinding. But it's the same thing. You just go in there and you can then check off each item as you complete it. So we can check out, do we have our ATIS and QNH, we've briefed the arrival, cancel our search and rescue time, that goes off, the lights are off. Downwind checks, the same thing, your base and your final checks. So with all those lights off, it's now safe for you to land. Again, this doesn't take the place of your standard checklist that you'll be doing, but this is just to make sure after you've done that, just before you commit to landing, that you've got everything where it's supposed to be. And once again, we've got a blue light at the end, and that blue light is to ensure that you've checked your that you haven't inadvertently activated your ELT due to a hard landing. You record your flat and taco times, and your transponder and master goes off. Once that's all done, off it goes. Put that, and it's now ready for the next flight. If you put it up, you see you're now ready for takeoff. So on the side here as well, we've got a push to test button. So you push on that button, and that tests to ensure that the battery, you've got sufficient battery for the flight. And if not, on the back here, I've also got a cable. It's a USB cable that you can then just plug into ship's power. So in the unlikely event that you run out of battery, you can always plug it into there. And worst case scenario, if that ship's power doesn't work, your battery doesn't work, again, you can still use the system, because if the switches are up, you're taking off, you flip those down and you confirm, and you don't land, you don't take off until all of those switches are in the down position. So as you can see, it works with battery, with ship's power, and with no power at all. So I think it's a really little handy tool to have if you want to go flying and want to make sure that you're safe. It's just an idea that I've come up with. Again, it's based on something that I've seen on Missionary Bush Pilot, is the gentleman that actually has it, and is using something pretty similar but doesn't have the LED lighting and all the rest of it. So hey, I'd be interested to get your guys' feedback and thoughts on it, and maybe you might be interested, and if so, I might be able to customize and make some for you guys and sell them. Once again, it's Zim Pilot here from New Zealand, and take care and fly safe.